Everybody, welcome in. You've come in this week listening to the No Nonsense Business Podcast, where this week we're going to talk about how high-level executives find better ways to get away with unruly crimes. 6 tips to avoid sexual assault in suits. And third of all, how to pay your employees less than what they're worth. All coming up on the Business Hour.
Continuing
tonight on Two Cees in a Pod. 96.7 on your Two Cees in a pod, 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 Two Cees just like Two Cees in a pod, because we're Two Cees in a pod, just like Two Cees in a pod, Two Cees in a pod at gmail.com.
I guess we'll stick with that intro then. Welcome, fans. You're in for another great episode to help business owners alike. As you know, we are 2 extremely successful men running a podcast network, podcast corporation, hiring hundreds of thousands globally across mostly, I call them developing countries. Some would call them exploitative labor. I call it giving people a chance. And today we're going to talk about how to give people a chance with very low wages. This is my podcast host, also an entrepreneur. Also, I like to call him the slave driver. This is Cam Osborne.
Cam, you know what? I love it when you prolong an introduction. I can just feel myself inching to the edge of my seat, wondering, is he going to say the name of the podcast? Is he going to say the name of the pod? And it just keeps anticipating, like a musical chord that will not resolve. Because this is Two Cees in a Pod.
It's not my job. Find it in my contract.
The podcast hosted by 2 best friends, Cameron Osborne. I'm here. Cam LeClaire is over there. And you know what? This is a podcast where we just get to occupy radio space, some radio time for an hour.
Yep.
Think about it like public access TV.
Public access radio.
But it's
pirate radio.
Public access pirate radio. I mean, that's all we are at this point. We're steadily recruiting new shows. Of course, we are the only station that will broadcast the new Chris D'Elia project, which we are very excited about, and we're really glad that
I hear he's doing a guest spot with Brian Callen coming up pretty soon too. So, tune into that, and hopefully our people are chatting with the big man himself. I believe Hannibal Buress had some conversation with him back in the day.
Interesting.
And not Hannibal Buress. What am I thinking of? Put in Pops.
Cosby. That's way off. Oh, my God, Cam.
No, because... what's his name? Brought him back into light, as we like to say. Hannibal Buress.
Okay, well you've lost me on whatever the hell you're talking about.
Okay, so like 3 years ago, Hannibal Buress brought him back into light by saying that maybe he accused him of some things that who knows what the real deal is. All I'm saying is we're gonna have a great comedy show for you folks. We're bringing in Bill Cosby. We're bringing in Chris D'Elia. We're bringing in Brian Callen. We're bringing in all the
seems like an all-star lineup of a night of hilarity.
We're working on it. But yeah, definitely some problems getting back to email. Some of these guys are going a little bit radio silent, but I think we'll hear back from them soon.
Yes, usually DMing on Instagram would be the quick way to get somebody's attention. Now, nobody's checking their Instagrams anymore.
No? Is Instagram shit right now? Like, is social media just a place of garbage?
I'm sure it is. They've, who knows anymore.
I was talking more generally. I've heard a lot of people complain about, because I don't have anything. I've heard a lot of people complain that it's just terrible. Like, there's nothing fun on it. But then again, that might just be all the time, but people are just realizing it now.
It's sort of tough to say, right? I mean, I don't know. It's something. If you're choosing to use something, that all onus is on you at that point, right? Because Cam, you did the impossible, and you just got off the grid, as it were, socially, networky.
Yeah. Yeah, it leads to a lot more phone calls to people when they don't expect it. They're like, "Why are you calling?" I'm like, "Because I haven't heard from you in a while. What's up?" Like, that's very thoughtful of you. And it's like, I don't pretend to just like something and be like, "We are now connected. We are friends."
Listeners at home, if you've been trying effortlessly for the past 32 weeks to find Cam LeClaire on the internet, I mean, LinkedIn, he'll be your LinkedIn partner, but other than that, no connections can be made.
Oh man, don't even get me started on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is needed for work, but there's so much nonsense on there.
Well, there you go.
People post
maybe LinkedIn is your Instagram, right? Where there is so much nonsense on it, but you're still kind of scrolling down.
I think it's more so like it's not a thing of the times. It's more so I use it for finding work opportunities.
Yeah,
see that. I mean, selling shit. Mm-hmm. But the thing I just see is like people posting videos about things I know they don't care about, but they pretend to care about just so they can have a good, social presence for their work. It's like, man, this conference is so exciting. Can't wait to learn about whatever industry they're in that they don't care about. They're like, can't wait to learn about risk aversion technologies related to the welding industry. Really interesting presentation. You're like, you don't do any of those things, and you don't care about those things.
It was a really good paper that was written regarding risk aversion in the welding industry. I could understand how somebody may attach onto that. Everybody's got a thing. My thing, sound effects. Here's a T-Rex.
Of risk aversion in the welding industry, not risk aversion in the welding industry. So it's things like that specific where it's like, you clearly don't care about this, but let's all play a little song and dance where you pretend that you do, then you might like it and be like, wow, this is so fascinating. I can't wait to hear from Derek Donogan speak about blah, blah, blah,
Risk aversion.
Like,
every Fortune 500 company is looking for risk aversion specialists.
Yeah.
It's the top.
I think that's probably the first one to go.
It's the top thing you see on what are companies looking for. They're looking for bilingual. They're looking for risk aversion experience.
Good team player, but also can work individually.
Exactly. Those are the top four, and I'm sure there's one that rounds out the top five.
Look into hiring new grads with 10 to 15 years experience in sales.
Of course, because I mean, I guess technically, if you got a paper route when you were like 8, kept it going throughout high school and throughout university, you could leave college as a 15-year-long salesman.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Thank God I haven't applied for a job in a while. Mm-hmm. But I'm getting pretty close to that 1 year mark, so
which is
time to back it up.
Which is an historic amount of time, Cam. You may have to be attending some more risk aversion seminars, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So we'll see how the month plays out.
We'll see how.
But it's actually been a huge.
The rest of August, and then you can maybe fall back into a new career.
Yeah, brand new one. Let's get into what was one thing I was thinking of doing the other day.
Why not hop outside of the business of finance and the numbers, Cam? Of course, I don't do that. Do you know what I do at all?
You
take a large chunk of the responsibility of the financial paperwork. The ins and outs of the community and of the corporation in general, Cam. Maybe you should start using the other side of your brain.
I mean, basically my title is operative strategist of financial and marketing operation director.
That's all business, baby, and you're putting a lot of that burden on your shoulders, on your wide muscular shoulders, Cam. It's been years since you have worked a job which required a certain amount of physicality.
Oh, haven't used my arms for work.
Well, Cam, you've been working on him this whole time. What if your next career involves a little more pulling up at the bootstraps and putting in some elbow grease in your hard day's work?
What do you think would be a good career for me to jump into that I can just like go ahead and do?
You could just jump into lumberjack.
Oh,
Yes, I think.
maybe. That's what I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking of becoming an arborist.
An arborist. See, so this is what I'm picturing, Cam. You're wearing like it's a flannel shirt, but you've cut the sleeves off. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's unbuttoned.
How's my armpit hair? How's my armpit hair looking? In this vision.
I see hair. I mean,
Is
it's
it a
not
lot?
like there's not like stuff
Yeah.
stuck in it or something. You know,
How my lats looking? I just really want to get like a good description here.
Oh yeah, so it's your 5'11" and a half frame, but and you're kind of 175-ish pounds, but you're bulked up about 20. But
just describe it to the listeners. Describe it to the listeners, what, like the full visualization. What kind of boots am I wearing?
Oh, what kind of boots are you wearing? You're wearing those they're like those beige color like the ones that look like Timberlands, but they're not Timberlands because
they're
you
steel
are
toe,
they're
right?
steel toe because you are running the risk of dropping a lot of wood.
Do I have them laced up?
Yeah, of course, for safety.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to,
Well, there's gonna be some safety with your practicality. Of course, we have some nice, not too baggy, not too tight jeans.
Well, I was thinking instead do those shorts, but they have to be pants, so they have the mesh shorts, like the mesh pants at the bottom. Have you ever seen those?
I've never seen those. Are you talking?
So it's like there's shorts that are like utility shorts, but then because you have to wear pants on work sites, it's just mesh a hat past the knee, so it lets you wear like breathable.
So it keeps your legs cool while keeping them safe.
I don't know if it really keeps them safe at all.
Okay.
But maybe like from sparks or like from wood chips or something.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
of course. Well, you're going to be dealing with a lot of wood being shredded.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
and sort of
I don't
cut
fully know what
down.
an arborist does, but I do like the idea of it.
I think, and well, you would go to places and cut down limbs off their trees, probably to avoid them falling over top of the house. If there's like a dead branch up there that's over top of the garage, somebody may ask you, "Hey, Cam, and can you do this for me?" And I think what's going to set you apart, Cam, is that you don't use tools and ropes and ladders. You scale up the trees yourself, and
without rope at all. Just scale up it with an axe on my back.
Yes, I just
don't even use a chainsaw.
Not even a chainsaw. You use one axe, and what you do, you kind of hold on to the tree with one arm and axe away at the branch with the other arm.
I can see myself being pretty good at this.
And then, right when it's about to fall off, what you do, you kind of put your little hatchet back in your your pocket there.
I'm thinking full axe, like a full size axe that I put on my back.
Okay, maybe we'll have like a thing on your back that you can kind of shook it back into, and then just kind of break it off with your left hand, holding on to the tree with your right hand.
Right.
Of course, and the sleeveless flannel shirt is just chest open.
Right. Just barrel chested.
It's a really sunny day. You're sweating. You've got the I've spent all summer outside tan.
Right.
Yeah, that nice olive skin tone that you can hit. Yeah, you can hit. I've seen you tanned. You can hit.
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really see anything wrong with this career choice. This sounds amazing.
No, this sounds.
What do I do in the winter though? Oh, it's probably dangerous in the winter, but I don't believe in danger. Danger is a state of mind.
Exactly. Danger is not only a state of mind, but your middle name.
Yeah, Cameron Danger.
Cameron Danger Leclerc. Not many people know this. Not many people know this. Danger is
your middle name. Not many people know this. Is
I know. I think everybody knows this at that point.
No, not the other one.
It's literally on my drive. You mean jean shorts?
Hurricane.
Hurricane jean shorts.
Hurricane jean shorts Storm Osborne.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know that one either.
Yeah. Maybe I'll change my middle name to Vin Diesel.
Well, I think Vin Diesel changed his name to Vin Diesel, so why not change your name to Vin Diesel? Change your middle name. So Cameron Vin Diesel Leclerc. That's a sign.
That would be like the most badass. You have a pretty badass middle name.
That's a sign of respect, to a fantastic actor.
Yeah, I mean that would be a good one, but I think it might be better if it's just like not even a name, just something a little bit silly. Doesn't make entire sense, but like Danger's a good one, but I think it's probably been taken. Maybe something like what's like a natural force that's just overwhelming.
And
I pretty much just want a wrestler's nickname as my middle name.
oh yeah, you would want to be like so it'd be almost something that you could like put in put in
100%.
quotations in between your name, like Cameron El Nino Leclerc.
Yeah,
And then you're
that's
like,
a
yeah,
good
that's
one.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, if I go definitely Spanish, I think that's the route.
Yeah, if you go
Like-
for an Hispanic luchador thing, you come out wearing a mask. El Nino Leclerc, something there,
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like even dude, I think when I would graduate, I think automatically they wouldn't have any music, but once they'd say Cameron El Nino Leclerc, there would be music that goes off like and I'd just be going up there, just getting the people going,
Yeah,
It'd be like, oh no, he's back.
It's music.
I thought he was retired.
It's music that's very, very similar to the John Cena song, but just
Similar,
different,
but not
just
that,
just
yeah.
different enough that it doesn't break any copyright laws. Like just
I want them to know what the kind of idea behind it
Yes.
is, because that's probably the most popular. But like,
just
like a little bit,
just different enough.
just a tinge, maybe an octave higher on one of the notes.
Or
And-
something like that. So just so you won't get sued, we don't want to follow in the footsteps of, anytime Led Zeppelin gets sued again for stealing somebody's song. We don't want any of this on our backs.
And then I get up to the front where they're about to give my thing, and then someone gives me a mic, and they're like, "What is going on here?" They're like, "I heard you thought I was gone. Well, guess what, people? I'm back." And then the crowd just erupts.
Oh, it's huge when you come back. You come back at the Rumble. You're like entrant 29, not the last one. You're not there to win, but you're there
Right.
to let everybody know, hey, I'm back. Make it down to the Final Four. You show up on Monday Night Raw the next day.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Many careers have followed this exact. This is tried, tested, and true as far as I'm concerned.
Did I ever tell you about the time that a guy at my work threatened to kill me?
That's how would we have even segued to this, Cam? This is huge.
Yeah, and he got fired for it too.
I've never heard this story. And this was somebody you worked with, Cam. We already know that you have an interesting history regarding you, a very personal history between you and previous employees.
Yes.
Yes.
And
this story will be no different, I'm sure.
This story will be no different. So this one was working cleaning toilets for a summer, and I think a lot of people had quit or were just very short staffed. So it was just me and one other guy working in the yard, and the yard is where you just clean the toilets. Anyway, he was just this. A fair comparison would be a dirt squirrel. Probably 115 pounds soaking wet. Just greasy hick from Hillsburg, piece of shit.
Fucking Hillsburg.
Yeah, hillbilly Hillsburg.
We know on the show. We have felt the contempt towards Hillsburg before.
I'm trying to get like a good description of this guy without being too terrible. So he's probably like 17 years old, straight blonde hair, the type of dude that wears like a monster hat and like a fox shirt, sleeveless. I think he's wearing DCs at the time. So I'm hoping you can kind of put this picture in your mind, right? And it sounds like he has a southern accent, but he's from Hillsburg, so you're like, this doesn't make sense. And he always talks about his baby girl who he doesn't have a baby with, like that kind of shit.
Okay, no, I think you can call your baby girl just your partner. Like, hey, baby girl.
Yeah, I think you just be like my girlfriend, or like partner. Yeah.
Oh, but you thought he was saying like my baby, like my baby who is.
Well, she was younger than him.
Oh, okay. Well, of course, from Hillsburg, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So it's a lot of this. Anyway, he's just getting on my nerves one day. We're always just getting on each other's nerves, but I obviously have a little bit more brain power than him, so I can mock him in intelligent ways when he just resorts to like getting angry.
Oh, that's
right?
fun.
Oh, it's very fun. right? It's very fun. And it's nice because management looks at you because you're like, you're more intelligent, so you're going to be in charge, right? I mean, to be fair, I'm running a shit yard, so let's not pat myself too far on the back here.
That being said, Cam, you are you are fiercely intelligent, surely one of the smartest people I know. What sort of brain power needs to be used in facilitating portable shitters being moved and emptied?
It's mostly coordination, right? So it's
okay.
like, okay, how many trucks do we have going out today? Okay, that means we need to fit how many do we need to clean by the morning? By 10 a.m. we need this many trailers loaded.
So a lot of
that hard,
numbers
but it's more
and
so
logistics.
just like
numbers and
logistics. That's the shit I'm good at, right? So when management sees that you have over a 15 IQ, they're like, this guy is headed to the top of this company. So one day he had just been pissing me off like week over week. And one day I'm loading up the trailers with him and I tell him like, yo, go do that thing, that whatever it was. Like say it was just throw that toilet on this trailer. And he looks at me because he's so mad that I'm telling him what to do. And he's like, you keep bossing me around, you're going to be sleeping for a real long time, if you know what I mean. I'm like, heard you loud and clear, brother. So then I walked right up to the upstairs manager. I'm like, let's fucking fire this dude. He just threatened to kill me. And they're like, all right. And they walked down, they fired him. And the best part was they held me in the office and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't give a shit about this guy. I just don't want him here. Like, he's a pain in my ass. And then as he's walking out the like driveway of the building, he's got the double birds up walking away.
Yeah, walking away. Wow, what
badass!
And nothing further came from it because Cam, he
obviously didn't try and kill me. Like he just, like I said, the brain power is like, I can't think of anything intelligent to say this to this gentleman, so I'll kill him.
Oh, so you don't think that he was gonna kill you?
Oh no, definitely not. Because like, what are you gonna do? Try and stab me? Like, it's more like you're just clearly not intelligent, and the first thing you think was like, "I'll kill you, motherfucker." It's like, no, you're not. Like, I could have gone back and forth, like, "Oh, really, Dan? How are you gonna kill me?" You're like, "I'll stab you." Like, "Oh, you're gonna? That's cute. Do you have a knife with you, Dan? Let me see the knife." Like, "Oh, that's a pretty big knife. It might be a little bit bigger than your dick." Like,
Oh,
like,
so this was the scenario you already played out. This is how you played it out in your head.
I mean, you could have played it out 100 ways. Like, I was like, there's no chance he actually would have come at me. First of all, because I was bigger than him. Like, if he had a weapon, yeah, it could be a problem, right? But I think it's one of those things more so where...
Cam, you are a weapon.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good middle nickname.
Cameron, the weapon.
The weapon.
The weapon, Leclerc. Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. Just have some problems getting to an airport,
Yeah,
do you have any
probably.
weapons on you? Like, only on my passport. They're like, sir, you were going to take me in for questioning.
And they're like, yeah, sir, can you come with us? And you're like, shit, I can't make jokes at the airport anymore.
God. Yeah, I made a bad joke at the airport the other day and got pulled in for extra security.
Yeah, the other day? What was it?
It was like January. We were coming back from Switzerland. And I don't remember the exact context of it, but I think at one we were in line, and then I was like, maybe if I fart, they won't put me in like extra security. And my friends kind of looked at me like, shut up, don't talk right now. We're 5 people away. And then after that, I knew they had brought back. Do you know what snus is?
No.
It's like the tobacco
that you snort. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had brought that back, and all weekend, or all like 2 weeks, we'd been calling them snooze bombs. Mm-hmm. And then I'm
naturally.
like, you guys should rip it.
No.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys should rip a quick snooze bomb. And they kind of look at me, and they're like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you doing right now? And I'm like, and then as soon as I said, I'm like, ooh, that was a mistake. And they brought all 3 of us into a separate area. And they just like they'd make us do like an extra x-ray and stuff. It wasn't serious, but I'm like, oh God, I gotta, it's one of those times where you just had finished drinking and you're like, my brain's obviously not working well. I'm overtired.
And this was in Switzerland.
This is in the Amsterdam airport.
Okay, in the Amsterdam airport. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's, you should have known.
Yeah, no, that was definitely on me.
That one's on you. But you would think at this point if you're transporting a bomb on an airplane,
You're not talking about
you're
it.
not, or and if you are, you're not calling it a bomb. You would say literally anything else. Like, hey, do you have my sneakers? And then somebody else is like, yes, I've got your sneakers right here. Like, that is
They're
way
in the
more...
box. I have the sneakers in the box.
The sneakers is
the
in
box
the box.
is beeping. Yeah. I think the box should be delivered to the house in 9 minutes. Right?
In 9 minutes, somebody else should be wearing these sneakers. That seems
they would never catch us.
That seems way less obvious. They have to be safe though. You can't. Maybe you're the dumb. You're one of the dumb ones who does call it a bomb.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't catch me with anything, so that was nice. Aren't you always worried when you go into like into those areas? I hate going to security. I always get nervous, even though I have nothing on me.
Well, I haven't. I famously have not been on a plane since 2012.
So it's before 9/11.
After
9/11.
Post 9/11, I've been on some planes. There was a good 17 years of me flying there. Before then, I do.
No, not 17. It was 2001.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. 11 years.
11 years. Yeah.
11.
Yeah, fair enough.
Notice that.
But I don't know. Even when I go across the border, they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going to whatever." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Say I'm going for business to a conference. They're like, "You have anything with you?" I'm like, "No." Yeah, it's taking care of business. You know what I mean?
Conference. Yeah.
Conference where I'm meeting my friends.
Oh, I guess the listeners at home cannot see the air quotes.
They can hear them.
Yeah, they can hear the physical comedy.
I get so anxious when I go into those things.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
I think I just haven't been in that situation for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I've brought weed into the ACC before, but that was like after it was legal.
That's easy.
And I
though.
didn't
That's
feel.
like,
Of course.
Get out of here. You're like, okay.
Okay. I mean, I brought weed. You bring weed into concerts. That's like I hope I get it through.
But that's the thing. I'm never smuggling anything or anything. I'm just like, I don't know, having someone just look at you, like, your whole purpose here is to just judge me as hard as you can to see if I'm a bad guy. And you're like, so I really need to put on an impression of a good guy. But you're like, but I don't have to put in an impression. I know I'm not doing anything, but still, I don't know.
Now, one time I crossed the border once at Detroit by a car via a vehicle with 3 others who none of us had the same town on our driver's licenses, right? Like, of like where our address was, because like we met, or like, it was me and another friend who lived in another town, and then our partners who lived in other towns. We all met at university, whatever the case was. The woman at the booth, before we can get across the border, couldn't understand how we all knew each other, and asked us many iterations of where are you coming from, or where are you coming from, where are you going to? And it was like, oh, we're coming from Waterloo, and then we went to, we're coming from London, and then we went, we're going to Tennessee. Okay, how do you all know each other? Okay, we went to high school together, and they're our girlfriends. Okay, why don't you all live in the same place? And it was like, oh, because like, I don't know, we're fucking student. It was like, it was
because we have the internet.
Because we have the internet, like, and they're like, and then they also asked us what university we go to. And it was like, we go to Laurier, they go to Western, and you could just tell the sparks, or like, the gears were not turning in her head.
Wasn't clicking.
It was not making sense to her how 4 people with seemingly like with different things going on in their lives could possibly.
I would just love
be
you go into like a deep story of like. Okay, so hear me out. It's 2009. She's like, okay, it's 2009. Picture this. So I'm wearing a flannel shirt, so I'm looking like I'm fucking looking good, right? Anyway, he's with me. This is how we met. He's with me. We go to this place, and some people are doing coke, and we're like, "You do coke?" He's like, occasionally."
So first day of grade 9, I walk into class, and he was wearing a shirt with the Room on Fire album cover by The Strokes, and I really liked that album, so I walked up to him and said, "Hey, that's a cool shirt."
You're like, do you know that album?
And then cut to cut to much later on, and now we're here, and now we still listen to The Strokes together. Yeah, she really could not understand.
What about these girls?
I was like, okay, so
you caught me. You
so
finally
I was
caught
at a
me.
party once. Cut to 2012. I was at a party. Yeah, it was tough.
I'm at a party having a cigarette outside.
I'm having
this girl
a dart.
walks up to me. She's crying. I'm like, looks like you need a Next Blue cigarette. I give her a cigarette. You know, the story tells itself. Like, no, continue the story.
And you're like, okay,
all right. Okay. Yeah,
it was.
I get that too. 'Cause I was last time I went to the border. I think I was with my buddies, and they're like, "Where are you all from?" I'm like, I'm from Kitchener. They're from Toronto. He's from fucking Markham. They're like, "What? Like, why'd your thing say Aaron?" I'm like, "Cause I move a lot."
Yeah,
okay?
you're like,
I don't like updating my address.
Yeah, because it makes more. Because I'm not a homeowner, and you're trying to explain this kind of crap.
You're like, why aren't you? You're like, because interest rates ever since. Okay, you know what? Let's get into it. You want to get into it,
so
sweetheart?
in 2008, the banks.
2008. Let's go one step behind that. We're looking at 2003. This guy named Wilfred comes into town and decides to buy up some property in the Beechwood area. Okay. The Beechwood area now starts housing more and more professors. These professors are bringing in top talent around the globe because we're a prestigious university town, driving up home prices. Okay? Are you seeing where I'm going here, sweetheart? And it's like, so why isn't your address this? She's like, what don't you get about this? I can't afford a fucking house.
I brought it back to 2003. How do you not get this? Must I go further back?
Sweetheart. Yeah.
Okay, let me break it
You've been
down
there for
for you.
45 minutes.
Reaganomics. Trickle down.
Look into Benghazi. You want to know why housing prices are way too fucking high?
You want to know why the houses cost so much? Read Hillary's goddamn emails.
Don't follow the money.
Don't follow the money.
Emails.
Follow the emails. That's why my stepson can't afford a house. Because of the emails.
Oh, because of the emails. And that's why I live in Kitchener and have an address from Aaron, okay?
Is that enough for you? Crossing guard. You're a border crossing guard.
For you, Mrs. What's that say? Jocelyn? Is that Jocelyn?
Is that Jokey Willen? Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, oh, okay, yeah. Justin? Well, it all started. My father.
Yeah.
My father made some bad decisions when he was growing up.
Starting with me.
Yeah, starting with me. I should have been aborted.
Shouldn't have been born. Oh God, Cam. We got dark. We got dark at the end there. You got dark at the end there. Oh boy.
I got a top 5 for the week.
Here's a top 5. Here are 5 tips about things. 5 ways to no, it's just a top 5.
I love it. Well, actually, I might not. I've never even heard it. I just like the enthusiasm that comes with segments. I love segments. What can I say? Maybe that's what it is. I love segments.
Love segments.
Yeah.
Love segments.
We're gonna have a segment called I Love
prep.
Segments. Yeah.
I love segments, and we go over 10 reasons why we love segments. Coming up on next week's episode.
Coming up next week on a top 10 segments. on shows. It could be anything. Could be Stern. Could be Leno. What you got?
Okay. So this week's top 5 is top 5 fashion aesthetics you didn't know about. So these are things that you might be wearing today. Cam, you're not wearing a shirt, so I don't know if you classify into this group at all.
Should I put on a shirt and then see if the shirt that I put on falls within a trend?
Sure, put on your whatever shirt you think is going to fall into whatever trend.
Cam, as I retreat to the 2 Cees in a pod wardrobe, of course, we have an extensive wardrobe collection. Really just because our office had a room that needed to be filled. Although this isn't a visual medium, we are often sure to dress to the nines. I am going to retreat to that closet for a second, and Cam, I'm gonna lead you to do something that we in the industry like to call vamping. So how about you vamp for a little bit?
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and guess what he is going to wear. I'd say 80% of the podcast. No, I'm going to say 50% of the podcast, he's not wearing a shirt at all. And the other portion, it's a basketball jersey. I'm going to guess this time he's going to wear the L Heat jersey. And if not that, we're going to go with a button-up shirt that kind of looks like a drug shirt. We might be coming back in the picture right now. I think he might try and throw me off, though, with even though it's not a guessing game. But let's see what he has to bring in here. Well, folks, I guess this is just a little bit of dead air. Oh, there he is. Damn, he caught me off guard with this one. I don't know if this one falls into anything. This one's... Fuck. This one's different.
Okay,
so,
okay. Well,
for the folks at home.
Yeah, for the folks at home, why don't you tell them a little bit of what I'm wearing right now?
So I did get it right a little bit. I said it could be a button-up drug shirt. It's
very close. Very close.
It's a flat. It's a what do you call it? Floral pattern shirt with beach palm trees and some kind of flower on it, white, and it looks like it says something on it. What's
it says things like Montego Bay and stuff.
Oh, I got something funny to tell you after this as well. So I don't think that actually fits into any of the five here. It was five that you probably haven't heard of. It might land into the first one actually.
You know what, Cam? I don't know what was happening during the vamping. I gotta say before you start the start five, I was about to go get a drug shirt. So you know me too well. I do have to bring that. I did just have to bring that up. I don't mean to interrupt, Cam. Let's get this top five rocking.
Okay, perfect. Coming at number 5, and Cam, I want you to let me know if you've heard of any of these before. The first one on number 5 is normcore, and normcore is a unisex fashion trend by unpretentious, average-looking clothing, like jeans, t-shirts, button-downs, just regular sneakers. It's attractive, comfortable, and really no one's ever going to question your style because like, you look pretty goddamn normal. And that's what we call a normcore. So you might be able to fit in that category. It's a little bit of pop to that shirt. So I'm not gonna, maybe not 3 in there, but it does look comfortable. It does look like normal enough for your walk on the streets.
You know what, Cam? I have heard of the term normcore before when it comes to fashion. Oftentimes, because I feel like I fit into that particular strand. I'm jeans. Looking over, I was just in the 2 Cees in a pod wardrobe where I saw a lot of my shirts, a lot of plain shirts, especially t-shirts,
most people are normcore.
A couple I dispelled with the logos and the over the top band t-shirts that I had probably in high school and certainly throughout university. Sort of like departed with those and tried to go a little more subtle with it.
Right. I think that's a good move to go. Because getting into fashion can be very expensive. I can say
Amen.
That much.
Amen.
Okay. Next up on the list, we're coming in at number 4 with techwear. Have you heard of techwear, Cam?
Techwear. No, I'm going to assume it's like clothes that somehow have an iPod in it.
No, that'd be neat. Techwear is actually just everyday clothing, but with a very special fabric. So it's pretty much... It's like super expensive clothing, but will pretty much get you through anything. It's breathable, has good movement, water resistant, comfortable, urban functionality, and technical materials, rooted in urban and outdoor influence. So these are the things you'd probably see on the street with like a guy that's able to survive in a raincoat that's like 200 grams of weight, and also pants that like will look good in a meeting, but are able to summit the Rockies. So shit like that. It's normally all black is what I'm finding. A lot of kind of hoods. It kind of just looks like it can literally work anywhere. It can also include backpacks. It's a lot of like the material is the main component of it. I think it's mostly very waterproof, but breathable. Take a look at that at home, folks.
This sounds really great because, Cam, as you know, I like to put on one outfit for the day, regardless of what I'm doing. Regardless, I could be swimming. I could be in a board meeting. I could be just at a fancy restaurant eating spaghetti and drinking red wine. And I want to be able to have the exact same outfit throughout the day for functionality and not to mention practicality.
Get ready for tech wear then. That might be a good choice for you. Coming in number 3 on the list is Pale Wave. So Pale Wave is centered around very muted and pale colors with a very relaxed and comfy vibe. So this is a people you wearing like maybe light blue jeans with a pastel colored shirt and white shoes. So it's very cheap and expensive, but it's an aesthetic that can be acquired for ease because it can have a lot of different brands within it, but it's more so just very light, very comfortable, and I kind of think it's boring personally, but you've probably seen it on the streets yourself.
Well, it kind of sounds like normcore with some fancy colors. It's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah, so kind of, yeah. I mean, it's very minimalist is a good way to think of it. So normcore can fit a shirt like that, like what you're wearing, I think. But Pale Wave is kind of unbranded stuff and very light color stuff. Yeah, it's good for summer.
A lot of salmons, a lot of that Easter yellow.
You got it.
With the white shoes, the light blue. Maybe they're not necessarily jeans. They're kind of those deceiving jeans that are actually like a comfy fabric, but they're not jeans. Have you seen this shit?
Oh, I have them. They're great.
I don't know.
Incredible.
I don't know. Call me old.
You probably see me wear them. You probably see me wear them.
Call me old-fashioned, but jeans should be jeans. God damn it, that's where I draw the line.
Maybe. These are great too, though. Coming on number 2 now. Number 2. This one almost took the cake for my number 1 spot. It has 3 names to it: Goth Ninja 2.0 / Avant-Garde / Black Matter Surfwear. And surfwear is spelled SERFWEAR. So pretty much any experimental fashion, street goth style. It's very loud, covered with labels. So when you see like those shoes that have like, the Yeezys that have like that weird writing on the side of them.
Okay.
So think about that for like a whole genre. So it's extremely loud, experimental. If you can think of high fashion compared with tech wear, those two things. So just really in your face, really can't wear it anywhere unless you're really trying to blow people's face away with it.
Yes, you'll see sometimes, sometimes will be somebody will be wearing a t-shirt with a lot of large font written all over the place, so much so that you don't actually know what words it's saying. Does that count?
It's not. I wouldn't even say it's like so much t-shirts. It's like all black again.
Oh,
but
okay.
Don't think about and it wouldn't even be so much like a t-shirt. I don't think would really fit into it. So it'd be like you might have a t-shirt as your underlayer, but then you have what's the thing that's like it's not a vest because it has arms, but it doesn't clip together. What are those things called?
A vest with arms that doesn't clip together.
It's like an overshirt, but it doesn't clip together.
Like just like a turtleneck?
No.
A cardigan?
Cardigan, yeah. Think of a cardigan, but like it goes down to your knees, and it's all black, and it has a hood to it.
And it's very baggy. Very baggy.
Very baggy. Like the crotch in your pants might be like, halfway to your knees, and that's made of like nylon.
Okay. I'm familiar with this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that kind of look. So it's a fun one. Wouldn't recommend wearing it to an office personally, but
no.
Hey, maybe you do. Maybe your office is pretty chill, as the kids say. So check that one out. That's a fun one that maybe you can incorporate onto your Tuesdays. And number 1, my favorite, I think sometimes I do fit into this lifestyle. It's called Gorpcore. Have you heard of this, Cam?
Gork?
Gorp.
Gork?
P.
God, I've never heard of this thing.
So do you know what GORP stands for?
It stands for something. Okay, going on right, people.
Incorrect. It's actually good old raisins and peanuts, because that's a good old trail mix that you can make, because Gorpcore is an overarching term for outdoor inspired fashion. So these are the people who are wearing your Patagonia, wearing your Arc'teryx, wearing your North Face, really not looking for that Papa style, but that's now becoming the Papa style. It's the, I have this thing that can easily fit me into going up north for a weekend, but I keep it clean enough, or maybe I make it look a little bit rough on the outside. Also, those sandals that have like the back strap to them, and the those like sandals that aren't like slides or anything, but they have like a bunch of different straps on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would definitely fit in the Gorpcore. Kind of like bathing suit-ish type thing. Really not a great looking style, but I think if you pair it well with some other normcore stuff, you can really pull it together well to make yourself look like you're an adventurous guy that doesn't mind getting outdoors, but you know what? Likes it in the city as well.
Well, I think what the problem with the Gorp core are the Gorp posers. I know many a folk, dare I say, who own North Face jackets but spend very little time outdoors.
I think that's part of the aesthetic, though.
Yeah, you have to, like you said, you mentioned a few other brands that are probably exorbitantly expensive.
A lot of those are, right? A lot, like even like Patagonia sweaters, like close to $200.
I've never even heard of that.
You've never heard of Patagonia?
I don't think so. I have Old Navy jeans. Is that close?
No, Patagonia
No? Oh,
is
shit.
just straight Gorpcore. Let me pull up a few of these names for you. I know those are the two things I would say is North Face. You've heard of Arc'teryx?
No.
I'm
not a
jackets.
gorper. You're apparently you've been gorping up this whole time.
Fuck, maybe that's why it's my number one. How about Snow Peak?
No.
No. Patagonia is probably the biggest one, I would say. So, anyway, that's the top 5 things you probably haven't heard of before.
I don't think that was the name of your list.
Oh, top 5 fashion aesthetics you probably haven't heard of.
There we go. It wasn't just top 5 things you haven't heard of.
Top 5 things you haven't heard of. Number 3. Number 2.
You're
those are just
creating,
things you have never heard
top
of.
5 sounds you've never heard mangled together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's also a fun list.
Maybe I'll do sentences that don't sound like sentences but are actually sentences. Top 5.
Things that sound like things but aren't things. Coming up next week.
Sentences that sound like sentences but aren't actually sentences.
That'd be a good one. And that was a fantastic list, Cam. It's been a little while since we've had a broken out one of those, as it were.
Yeah, that was a good one. It wasn't our typical March Madness, but hey, sometimes we switch it up a little bit.
We have to switch it up, of course, always on the hunt for new games. There's some neglected games, of course. We haven't searched Kijiji in a long time. I've been thinking about the other day.
Yeah, we have not. We've been taking that off our list for a while.
Maybe it's time to get it back in rotation. Maybe that's what the fans want. Is it what the fans want? We don't know. twoseasonapod@gmail.com.
Please let us know. Never forget, time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana.
Jesus Christ, Cam. What did you come up with that one yourself?
Nope.
You copied that one?
I stole it.
You stole it. You son of a bitch. You couldn't even come up with your own little cute adage.
No, it's hard. Thinking is hard.
Amen.
Math
Tell me.
is easy. Amen. Amen.
Well, Cam, we are winding down to the end of our show. Kim Mitchell's coming up next.
It's been a fun one.
It has been a great show. We do have, of course, the newest signing onto the show, the folks over at Merriam-Webster. We're talking about Noah Webster. We're talking about George Merriam coming together to explain to us the dictionary. They started at A, last week. They've been going strong on their show. They're actually at now F. So they've covered like AA to AE, and now they're on F.
Oh, I'm supposed to come up with... Did you have one or do I have one?
They're coming up with it. It's their show. It's coming up after Kim Mitchell's hour. But before we get to the end of our podcast, how about we play a little game?
Okay. Can we do... I got one more before that.
Oh, shit.
It's a real quick one. Remember how we played Word of the Day?
I don't think we
But
played
it was really
it.
hard?
I think you just said... Oh, no, you're talking about Reverse Balderdash.
Reverse Balderdash.
That game was
We're
terrible.
gonna do that, but with Urban. We're gonna do that with
We're
Urban
not doing
Dictionary.
Reverse
So-
Bal... Okay, fine. Okay. Urban Dictionary, Reverse Balderdash, that seems a little more plausible than just, hey, what does this fucking word mean? So, Cam, what you got for me?
So we can do either one way. I give you the definition, or I give you the word. What would you prefer?
It's either one. It's your game, so you narrate the rules of play.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, the word is an otter's pocket, and it's Urban Dictionary. What do you think an otter's pocket is?
An otter's pocket. So an otter, I believe, is a small or is a shorter, hairy gay man, like a man who's not large enough to be a bear. Where a bear achieves his power through strength and size, the otter achieves their power through sheer cunning and mobility alone. I would be an otter.
You'd be an otter.
I think I'd be an otter. So an otter,
I think so.
an otter's pocket, because you're a twink. I'm an otter. So an otter's pocket has to be something to do with this little gay man, this little hairy gay man. And so I'm gonna say an otter's pocket is his butt.
You're close.
I'm close.
The interior state of a woman's genitalia when considerably aroused.
Oh,
And
ew.
used in a sentence, she's as wet as an
Ew.
otter's pocket.
Ew. Who's having who's having that conversation that they
It's
would
with the fellas,
throw
you know?
it with themselves? Like they're saying it in their own head to pump themselves up.
Dude, I was at Christina's house last night, though. She was fucking wet as an otter's pocket.
Yeah, like who's saying that? Like that's just very specific sexual detail that I feel like neither should be shared nor probably is shared.
Yeah, it was one of the top definitions of August from Urban Dictionary.
Wow,
So that's fun.
That is fun.
Tune in next week for next week's Urban Dictionary.
I
What
think
does this word mean?
I think Urban Dictionary Reverse Balderdash is a lot more fun than here's a word from the random dictionary.
Yeah.
What does it mean? It feels a lot more fun and plausible. So maybe we'll bring back some Urban Dictionary Reverse Balderdash. And for now, we'll let the folks covering that Merriam-Webster hour focus on the rest of the words that are actually important.
Right.
So Cam,
Cool. Okay.
like we said, we got our little Reverse Balderdash in, so that's fantastic. So I think we might as well just hop straight into our final game segment. That is Headline or Asinine.
Hey, headline or asinine.
We all know how it's played, folks. 3 headlines back and forth. Some are real, some are not. Which ones do we think are which? I don't know. Cam, why don't you give me a headline?
Well, I will give you a headline, or I will give you some asinine. Maybe I'll give you a hile, maybe a no-hile. Current bid for Mia Khalifa's glasses stands at $93,000.
Nah, that's gross. That's gross. But sure, why not? There's some gross people out there. God, I mean, there's not really much of a scenario that you can build upon this particular headline. It seems super cut and dry because it's just straight up facts. I'm gonna say that's a headline.
It's a headline for a different reason than you'd think. I know what you're thinking, and it's not because they're Cartier frames, okay? The real reason that people really want these glasses... Well, actually, not so much that they want them. The reason she's selling them is because of the bombing in Beirut. That's her part. I guess that's in her original country, and she's raising money to help some of the families that passed away in that tragedy. And right now, the glasses that she will be selling stands at $93,000. Before she sends them off, she will send you one Polaroid with her wearing the famous glasses, where she started off wearing them in her first ever film.
There it was. I was waiting for you to get to the end of that there. Okay, at least this money is going towards a good cause. Take advantage of these gross people.
Yeah.
You know?
Who knows what's been on those glasses?
Well,
Probably dust.
a lot of dust. It's been, I think it's been, she hasn't been in the industry for many years, so I'm sure, unless they were in a protective case, they're probably very dusty, so you may want to clean them off when you get it.
Yeah.
$93,000 though. Holy shit. That's a down payment on a big house.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not in Kitchener. Apparently the fucking average house price in Kitchener right now is like $800,000.
I've read it was 6. But
looks like me and you read different articles.
Maybe we read competing things, of course. Cam, you go to sources like CBC, CTV. I get my information purely on Gawker.com. So I think there may be some competing views here. So Cam, I'm going to throw one headline for you, and maybe I got it on Gawker. We don't even know. You ready for it?
Ready.
Man rubs peanut butter on his hand and punches neighbor allergic to peanuts.
Ooh, that's a greasy move. I mean, I think the problem I have with that is like, it's not that clever, you know. I think it'd be more clever if he did something like put peanut butter under his car handle, you know, something like that, or put it on his door thing, like punch it in the face. You're like,
then he touches it. He touches it when he opens.
Yeah,
I get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or like, you know, a jar of peanut butter comes swinging out the door as soon as you open your door.
Oh, and it's on a tether and it hits you right in the balls?
Yeah, and then you land in a thing of peanut, or like,
didn't it fall?
Or, you know, even better yet, like if you have a full outside the door, you've created a box and just layered it with peanut butter on the ground. So as soon as he takes a step, he slips in peanut butter. Like, I put it in my hand and then punch. Yeah, like classic, right? Something like that, where it's like, you know, it's hilarious. Is he gonna die? Maybe. But you know what? That's gonna be a great security footage. And just have that guy?
It's like something Kevin McAllister would do in Home Alone. Like if
that's what I want.
If Joe Pesci's character was allergic to peanuts, Kevin McAllister would be doing all sorts of rubbing peanut butter would be slipping, sliding, rubbed on all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, or like, you know, put it on the inside of a face mask or something like that. You know, it's like something that's just it's not what you're expecting. It just seems way too on the nose, no pun intended, to put it on your fist and hit someone in the face.
No pun intended.
I'm gonna say it's real. Yeah, no pun intended. Even though that's set up very nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a headline. Even so,
Cam, that's asinine. I'm sorry. Wow. However, the situations which you've led are far more hilarious than punching somebody. Yeah, you know, if you have vengeance, if you want vengeance on somebody who happens to be allergic to peanuts, I think we just gave you about 4.5 minutes of ideas.
There's a good one too, where it's like give the dog peanut butter and then, like, you know, let it eat all the peanut butter at once. Then as soon as he comes home, you let the dog out to go kiss the owner. Yeah,
there's another good one where you put the peanut butters on your balls, and then you open the door and call the dog over. That's also a pretty good one.
I don't know if that really does what you're intending it to, unless maybe we're thinking of doing different things here.
I think we may be thinking about doing different things on this one. Cam, why don't you throw your second headline at me?
Let's go with that headline. Accused bank robber follows COVID-19 protocols. Accused Ottawa bank robber followed COVID-19 protocols.
Right. So I think the other week we established the difference between robbery and like theft and...
I don't think we established it, actually. We got close. But
we got close to establishing? Good.
We talked to our lawyers about it, and they said, don't talk about it.
Right, because I think this was something that Merriam-Webster brought up to us. I remember they were slipping some definitions under the studio door. to give us
Yeah.
things, and I don't recall a single thing that they said. That being said, though, it's the time to be safe, right? Just because you're robbing banks doesn't mean that you're exempt from some of the other rules that we all have to follow, right? If you're a bank robber with a bad cough, you shouldn't be robbing banks. That's just irresponsible.
Right.
If you're grabbing onto hostages and holding them really close to you as you kind of hold a gun up to their head in some kind of cop showdown situation, like, that's irresponsible. You are too close to that person. They are not in your social circle, right? Just because you're a bank robber does not mean you're exempt from these rules, staying the distance away. Of course, I'm sure he sanitized his gun before he walked in there, dripped some hand sanitizer on his gun, and he's wiping it. He was already wearing gloves because of the whole fingerprints thing. I'm sure he was being one of the safer people there. He had the full balaclava on, gloves.
Yeah, no one's ever gonna question you.
Like, you are one of the safer people in this bank, sir. And just because
The problem was he was wearing Ninja Core, too.
That's just gonna stand out like a sore thumb. That being said, I'm going to say this is asinine.
That is a headline out of Ottawa, I believe. Oh, yeah. It's
You did say Ottawa was in the headline.
So he walked in with a mask like everybody else and then stood in line like everybody else, 6 feet apart. And once he got to the teller, he didn't say anything because he didn't want to, spit out or anything. But he had a mask on. He just passed a note that said, please give me this much money. She obeyed. They caught him very soon after. So a little bit uneventful, just more so a fun tale of, I think that's the way you do it. If you're going to rob a bank, you don't bring out your guns, be like, freeze, motherfucker. It's Cameron. El Niño La Claire.
Of course. Well, Cam, if I'm robbing a bank, I'm bringing a ring announcer with me to announce and someone to play my theme, someone to play my John Cena-esque theme. Yeah, just different enough. Remember that.
Yeah, I would and then I'd probably set up some ropes there too, so I could bounce off the ropes and do a people's elbow on the teller.
Oh,
and
it would be huge.
If they could maybe hang the bag of cash at the top so I can make it a ladder match too.
Of course, you're climbing the ladder to get to reap your reward. That CCTV footage would be off the hook.
Thing down, and I just, what's it called when you do a butt slam? What's that called?
I don't know. It could be called anything.
The Beirut bomb.
Sure. No. I said
too soon.
I said sure too soon. Yeah, I should have thought about that for myself for a second.
I think I figured out the difference between burglary and all that shit, though.
Yeah.
So, you can rob someone is when you take something of value directly from someone else. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Burglary, you illegally enter into someone's building, home or business, with the intent to steal something. Theft, you actually steal something. So you don't have to steal anything to be convicted of theft. Oh man, did I just get myself confused again? I thought I had it so tightly.
I think you did. I think you may have. I can see on the other side of the plexiglass screen here, separating between us and the control room. Mir and Webster are going nuts right now.
Oh man, so often burglary involves theft. A person does not have to steal anything to be convicted of the crime. So you don't need to steal anything to be convicted of burglary. Okay, there we go. So to be you can get a burglary charge without stealing anything because you broke into a place illegally, but they're often intertwined. And then robbery is with force.
Okay, there
clear?
we go. Very clear. Thanks over to the folks. Thanks George and Noah. For helping us with that definition. That I do gotta say, I love the subtle way of just putting on a piece of paper, like, give me all the money, and the woman, and whoever's at the teller's just like, hell yeah, I'll give you all the money. Okay, have you ever worked a job no, I don't think you have.
Have I ever worked a job?
Yeah, you've never worked a job. I can recall at Mr. Sub, and actually, it was funny. It was robbed years after I stopped working there, but I do remember that was one of the first things that my boss, the owner, told me when I started working by myself, which was if ever anybody comes in trying to rob the place, fucking open up the till and run away. Like, yeah, like don't.
That was the game plan.
Do
So
not-
they did train you on it.
Do not be. We had no practice scenarios. It's not like late at night one time somebody pretended to rob the place, and but yeah, that's certainly the rule. And certainly at a bank, nothing is.
I think
worth
they
it.
have a pretty good idea.
They have a pretty
They're
good
all
idea.
like, the first thing you do is be like,
No,
I'll shoot you.
I'll
I'll shoot you.
you can't
Be
do
like,
this.
if you don't put that gun down, you're gonna be sleeping for a real long time.
Sleep for
I do
a real
warn
long
you.
time. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. That's some gangsta shit.
Yeah, well, that's what he told me, and I took that. Okay, if someone told you that, would you take that as a threat of your life? If they were fully serious, if they're like, you're gonna be sleeping for a real long time.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Well, I mean,
It's not like, oh, you're gonna knock me out in a flash knockout. It's like real long time probably intends more than 5 minutes.
and you were aware of his shittiness, and then you put it together like, hey, this is flat out something this guy could do. He's just that much of a scumbag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Cam, ready for this next one?
Got it.
Here we go. Brewery apologizes for naming beer pubic hair.
Ooh, I don't know why they'd apologize. Brewers can get away with anything these days. I think maybe it's like supposed to be a sour beer, and they're like, this stuff's so sour, it tastes like a teen's pubic hair after gym class, and you're like, ooh, I gotta try that. You know, it's kind of like these funky naming of foods that people want to try. Like, there's got to be something out there. You know what I'm talking about? It's just things that sound so marketable. They're like, that's good. So I gotta try a little bit. Like deep fried pickles.
Just like
Maybe that's-
deep fried Mars bars.
Deep
Or
fried
any
Mars
of that
bars.
CNE trash food where they're like, hey, we put, like, it's a donut burger. It's a burger
Yeah.
between two donuts with cheese and bacon. And you're ew, that's disgusting.
They're like, I gotta try it.
But I gotta try it.
So I think they would I think a small brewery would do it, but like, we're calling it pubic hair. And then just people are like, you can't do that. That's gross. And you're like, okay. Yeah, but it's not really that. And they're just like, I guess we should apologize because I don't know. Because that's how civilization works these days. Headline.
Cam, that's a headline. For a couple different reasons, though. This is actually a story out of Alberta coming from Hell's Basement Brewery, who 2 years ago released, they're a smallish brewery, released their beer called Huru Huru. Huru. It's a pale ale, which they believed was the Maori word or term to mean as light as a feather, Maori being a tribe on the mainland of New Zealand. However, it wasn't until this brewery got a little bit larger and more people started drinking the beer did they realize, hey, this doesn't mean as light as a feather. It didn't mean anything as close to that, because huru according in the Maori tribe actually means pubic hair.
So I'm way off on this one.
You're way off on this one. However, immediately, as soon as people started to kind of realize, the Hell's Basement Brewery issued an apology, really just saying, like, we thought this is what the word meant. We're sorry, we didn't mean anything like that to hurt people or to appropriate someone's culture. I think the consensus amongst some of the majority of the Maoris is that it was more funny than anything else. This company was selling beer called pubic hair.
Some good stuff. I would buy it. So not what I expected, but sure.
Yeah, it's close enough. Something else.
Close enough. Next up, 6-month-old Bella in lead for Kansas primaries.
6-month-old Bella in lead for Kansas primaries. God, I don't know how that works in, like, the legal stuff, where it'll be like, Bart Simpson got votes in this state. How is that able to, like, make it that many steps before, that crazy shit can happen? But this is a story that you've heard before. Somebody jokingly putting somebody's name on a ballot. Of course it happens in, probably Kansas. That sounds like a place, right? Where maybe the other person's so shitty that they're like, screw it, we're just going to put this Bella person on. Or maybe this new mom is thinking to herself, like, hey, this would be really funny if people voted for my daughter. That being said, though, I don't think, I mean, I know nothing about anything, but I'm going to assume there is an age minimum. And that is to say, if a 6-month-old won, I believe she would be considered unfit to serve. So I do hope Bella gains some traction. However, I hope it doesn't separate from the actual people that need to be voted for, making a difference, not just some troll. This is a headline.
It's asinine. I made it up.
Gotcha.
It's a lie.
Some real...
Yeah, so we call it gutting.
It's real gotcha journalism right there, eh, Cam?
Gotcha.
Cam,
gotcha.
I have one more headline for you, and then that's it, I think.
So.
Is it? I'm not sure. Who's even counting anymore? Cam, here you go. Will your in-laws make you eat uncooked chicken? Studies show they will.
It's such a BuzzFeed headline. The problem I have with it is the premise doesn't make sense. It's like, will your, like, we're how could you possibly do any studies on this? Like, we interviewed 700 in-laws and tested the chicken on 730 of them to see how cooked they were. On average, when they came over, their chicken was 4 degrees less than the other person's, therefore showing that they're more likely to serve uncooked chicken to you. And I don't know how they could do it, but I think this is a misleading headline that is true. Headline.
Cam, it's a headline, but there's nothing.
Ugh, gross.
There is nothing false or misleading about it, because it's actually a study that came out of Norway, coming from the Norwegian Business School. Why them? Who the hell knows? But Norway evaluated, 10 here, different social situations to see how people would feel about the consequences of eating versus not eating the food. They researched 1,700 participants and asks them what they would do in certain eating situations, stemming from home alone, a wedding banquet, home with partner, at a best friend's place, a new friend's place, a colleague's place, at the boss's restaurant, a romantic first date, or meeting or having a meal with your future in-laws, okay? And now the parts of the food and drink elements that were supported, or that were asked, rather, was uncooked chicken, bloody hamburgers, and moldy bread. And through these 1,700 participants, they found that out of all those labels that I had just labeled, the future in-laws was the case where you're most likely to eat some uncooked chicken, moldy bread, or some bloody hamburgers. You want to make a good impression. It's not just the fear of social consequences. Your empathy is playing a big role in these sorts of things. Another highest one was one that was like, or another one here that was unlisted. Having a dish served by a child that they make for you was another one. Your daughter, your son makes a meal for the first time. You're so proud of them, but it may be inedible. What do? Do you eat it and help encourage their creativity, or do you tell them, no, this is bad, this is wrong, and potentially stifle them for the rest of their lives? Cam, it would really raise the question. Any of those situations that I listed, would you eat something that was, hey, maybe not quite cooked as the way it should have been, not as edible?
On a first, like, if it's an in-law,
I mean,
probably not.
Any of those things. Your boss invites you over for dinner.
It depends, like, how well, like, it's the first time.
Very first time, yeah. All of these are based on the first time meeting your in-laws, a first date where maybe your date invites you over and they cook for you. Would you eat a little bit of moldy bread if this person has gone to all the effort to cook for you?
Probably not. No, I'd probably lay off of it. I think I'd be bold enough to be like, Hey, I don't know about yours.
Your bread
but
is. I don't know about your bread, but my bread's got a little bit of mold on it.
I would just be like, hey, check your bread for mold. I found some on mine. Right? Then you turn it on to like, hey, I care more about you than me. Right? You turn to the tables. Right? You're not like, my bread, mold on it. You're like, I'm concerned for your well-being, sweetheart.
That's a good thing. It could have been a test on their part. You know, serve you a little bit of uncooked chicken, and if he says something, he's the one.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, he's just a bitch. And you're
He's
like, no,
he's just in it for one thing, and of course, we all know.
That's right, I'm in it.
There's our Kanye West segment for a little bit right there, and that was Headliner Asinine.
Headliner last time. Well, folks, it's time to wrap up the podcast. The next one's going to be a live podcast coming from our second getaway of the summer.
From the
thank you all for tuning in.
Of course, Cam. One thing. I got to cut you off right there before you go, because you did mention the next show, which I cannot be more excited for. We wanted to take the success of our corporate retreat and really scale it down a little bit. You know, as much as we do kind of enjoy being around our employees, I think it's best opportunity, Cam, for you and I to take this time for ourselves to really discuss new ideas, new strategies. Who we're going to keep.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Who we're going to not. Of course, a lot of positive feedback on the crying stalls. I would love to take the crying stalls idea and maybe expand it so everything is able, you can cry anywhere at the Two Cees in a Pod corporate office.
Right.
That'll be very important.
I think these are all discussions we will have.
These are all discussions we will have. Thanks for listening, folks. Kim Mitchell is rapping on our door. Remember to rate, review, like, subscribe to the podcast, because we're everywhere. You go to twoceasinapod@gmail.com. You can ask us any question. You can just probably say anything. I think at this point, we'll just read any fucking any email that comes across, right? Or any
literally
email
anything.
That is
please.
important. That is important because we do have thousands of these things. We have thousands of these things coming through, and oftentimes the subject lines and the body is so long and convoluted that our email filtration system it isn't able to catch a lot of them. So remember to be short, concise, and just ask away.
And never forget, people, the word factoid does not mean fact. It is a false statement presented as a fact. Thank you for tuning in. This is Two Cees in a Pod. Checking out till next week.
Take care, folks.
Continuing
Tonight on Two Cees in a Pod. 96.7 on your Two Cees in a Pod, 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 Two Cees just like Two Cees in a Pod, because we're Two Cees in a Pod, just like Two Cees in a Pod, Two Cees in a Pod at gmail.com.